Alrighty, it looks like we do have some on, which is great. I wasn't sure since this is our prep week and a lot of people are still picking up. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Cheri for those of you who do not know me, but I always like to start out our metabolic reset with a really short session just to ensure that everyone is really clear on what this is all going to look like. You know, answering any questions that you guys have. I want to talk about some important pieces and then just basically leave it there. And again, making sure that all your questions are answered as well. So let's go ahead and start out with just some objectives for this particular presentation. Again, just helping you guys get prepared and get started. So obviously the first week, so today you start your prep week. So you are all set up. You all should have received your very first email for the prep week. And then so every day it's going to kind of take you through a number of different things to get you prepared. So if you have not picked up your product yet, you will obviously want to do that this week. I'll talk just a little bit about some enhanced accountability that we've added into the program. And then of course, answer any questions that you guys have at the end. So, okay. So our metabolic reset consists of our 3 different options, our strategic weight loss. So HCA lean, HC2, and then our HCG drops. So there are, there's people that are doing, some people that do multiple resets, they try different programs or they stick to one. So it really depends on you and what's best for you. So I'll go through each of them and especially with like the dosing and things like that. So getting prepared for this week, some of the important things are to make sure that you have logged into your account on BodySite, which I'm sure you all have, and really, take some time to get to know the app because there's a lot of, great resources in there. There's a resource tab. There's previous videos. If you're struggling in a certain area, maybe there's a video that can help you out. If you want another review of the diet part of it, there's a video on that. So just make sure that you're utilizing the app to the best of its capability. And again, following the prep week, the whole purpose of the prep week obviously is to get you prepared, but it's also to start to kind of clean some things up, clean your diet up. There are a number of things that we have you just different goals that you can aim for the week. I think one of them is just drinking more water because that's obviously going to help that whole transition when you start the more restrictive part, the diet part. Like I said, you can review the diet video and any other videos that you think are going to be helpful for you. Plan your grocery list. So you'll start to think about what meals you're going to include in your program, get to the store, fill up your cupboards and your fridge and freezer, etc. And start logging your food now. And just so that you can, again, if you haven't logged your food in BodySite, our app through BodySite, it's going to be a good idea just to get the hang of that. And if you have an integrated scale, you definitely want to set that up today as well. So just to remind you all, the logging, the messaging, I'll probably mention it, a little bit later in this presentation, but all of that, we can see everything you do. If you have purchased in one of our integrative or an integrative scale, a scale that integrates into our app, then every time you get on your scale, it is going to upload into our system so we can see that. And we're really hoping to get more metrics from our metabolic reset, just because this is an online program. People aren't coming in at the end and doing a final body composition assessment and things like that. But I know those of you who do have a scale, we are going to be reaching out to some of you just to ensure that we can gather those metrics at the end. Because at the end of the day, that's what people want to know is how effective is the program. So here's a picture of the integrated scale. And it is a body composition scale. So it's not just your weight. It also looks at body fat, visceral fat, your total body water, muscle, BMI, and bone mass. And so, it is more comprehensive. What I will say is that the scale's around $60 to $65. So it's nowhere near similar to like the InBody that we have in the clinic. So if you have your like results from the InBody coming in the clinic, don't be shocked if it's going to be different from this particular scale, because they have different algorithms and it's just a different technology and sophistication of the technology as well. So what is really, really important is that you start here and you end there. And so you're looking at your trends. And the visceral fat, if you haven't heard me speak on this, I'm always talking about visceral fat because that's really the most important piece. If this is staying the same through a program, then it's really not an effective program. I mean, obviously you want to look at other areas, and some people register at the highest level of visceral fat for a while. So that doesn't mean that the visceral is not moving. It's just that they have a longer way to go. So I just wanted to kind of review that in case anyone is interested in getting the scale. Like I said, it integrates with our app. We're going to be monitoring progress for those who have been identified as having a scale. It is crucial to success, especially if you continue to do the metabolic reset programs and or do even other programs with us, because, with the virtual options for most of our programs, it just really helps with that accountability piece when you're not able to come in. So like I said, you can go to Amazon. It's also in your app. It'll say scale setup or troubleshooting with the scale. And then that will give you all the instructions on how to set it up. The other thing I want to mention is that I was just told that the scale is actually on back order. And I should have added, we'll send the link for an alternative. So yeah, the one that we always use is on back order till like February something. So we do have an alternative, which it's actually less expensive. So that may benefit you. It's new to us. We're not sure, as far as like the metrics, if people are happy with what they're seeing, but it is, from what I understand, a comparable scale. Okay, so again, product pickup was last week, and this week, technically, we love for everyone to be, have their product by today and really focus on the prep week. But we understand that, that's not always possible for some people. So on the 30th, which is next Monday, is when the actual program starts. And I'll go through some of those details. But when I say the program starts, so the supplements that you're taking would start on the 30th. And then the diet portion for those on the HCG drops would start on February 1st, which would be on the third day of taking the drops. If you're on HCA or HC2, it really doesn't matter if you start the diet and start the supplements on the first day, or if you choose to start the supplements and then start the diet on the third day, just like the HCG drops. It really doesn't matter. I think it just really depends on what your habits were prior to starting this. If you really kind of fell off and you gained a good amount of weight, in a period of time, and you've been eating unhealthy and a lot of processed foods, it's probably a good idea to start the diet on the third day, just so your body can start to get acclimated to the supplements. And obviously you've been cleaning up your diet from the prep week. So that would be my only suggestion. Otherwise, it's really up to you. So screening for new patients that are on the metabolic reset, all of our online programs, we definitely are screening our new patients. And if you are someone that has done programs with us recently, or you've done multiple metabolic resets, we just ask that, and we're obviously sending you intake forms. We're just looking to see if there's any change in condition. Not that there's a high or a large amount of like contraindications by any means, but we are looking for things that we may need to monitor more closely. So again, this is 100% online. You'll be taken through the program with daily emails, and then I will be doing 2 more live group sessions, and the next one is next week when it starts. And so what you kind of watch for that. And then you do have the option to add on visits. So if you feel like you just need more individual support, you can add on 2 additional visits for $99, and you would be scheduled with one of our providers. So this is online, so anyone can do the program anywhere. So if you know anybody that's interested in losing weight or looking for something, you definitely do not need to be local for this. As you go through the program, you will receive different accountabilities and certain tasks that you need to check off. So just watch for that. And it just, again, is to kind of help people stay really focused through this, because I don't get into the whole, why this works so well and why it's important to, do certain things. But the whole intent of the metabolic reset is to really, really change your metabolic health in the 4 weeks. And we see it over and over how effective it is. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the dosing guidelines for each of the programs. So the HCG drops, you're going to be taking 10 drops under the tongue. This is going to be before each meal. And you want to take it 15 minutes before you eat. So some people have asked, like, how do you know how many drops? Because you can't really see it. I think most people have figured out a way to count it. But if you just look in the mirror while you're doing it, if that's possible, you can count the drops, or you can, pour it in something and then take it. So it really depends, whatever works for you. So we're doing the 2-ounce bottle. It's 21 days. So this is a little bit different than our supplements, because our supplements are a full 30 days. The HCG drops is kind of like the original HCG program. You do the HCG for 21 days, and then the last week you're kind of transitioning. So just take note of that. I mean, if you're following along, it will make perfect sense. But some people have asked why it doesn't last the full 30 days. It's not supposed to. So. Okay, our HC2 program. So this is our program that obviously is our strategic weight loss, but it really does focus a lot on detoxification as well. And our detox fuel, so this is one of the products in HC2, and you will take 2 capsules twice daily. Some people have taken 4 at once per day, and they seem to do fine. It seemed to be easier for them, but we do recommend that you break up those capsules. So you would just do it, breakfast, lunch, according to the booklet. So that's the detox fuel. HC2 is the drops. And this is really intended to kind of mobilize those abnormal fat stores. Hopefully you guys have listened to some of my presentations on that, because it is such an important process. But this is really going to help with that visceral fat and really releasing some of those inflammatory fats. So shake it really well. You're going to take a full dropper and you're going to add it to 2 to 4 ounces of water twice per day. So in the morning and in the evening. And keep in mind, actually, I think it's on the next slide, that a full dropper actually only goes halfway. So 1/2 of the dropper is 1 serving. So don't think you have to go to the very top. And you just add it to water, and that's about it. In our HC2, there's also a product called Mini Lights. This is our electrolyte, our multi-mineral and electrolyte formula, and super essential during quick weight loss, because anytime you go after the inflammatory fat, which is what we're going after, which is the visceral fat, You know, the majority of people have a ton of inflammation. They just have like systemic inflammation. So when we start to decrease that inflammation and we start to decrease that visceral fat, your body's going to flush a lot of the liquid and a lot of the fluids. And that's a good thing. But with that will go the electrolytes. And if you don't replace electrolytes during that process, you will feel that. You're going to feel fatigued. You're going to feel a little off. So this is the electrolytes, the mini lights is in the HC2, but for the other programs like HCA Lean and HC2, we are also recommending that people add that to theirs. So you can create a Fullscript account. Most of you already have, and there's in the app, it'll give you a link if you wanted to get access to like our starter kit. You know, you can make a decision on what you want to add during this process, but the electrolytes are probably the most important. HCA Lean dosing. So the HCA Lean or the lean, I should say, you're going to take 1 capsule at breakfast and 1 at lunch. And then you will take HCA one at breakfast, 1 at lunch. And this is 30 minutes before a meal. So just kind of watch for the specific recommendations because they can make a difference. And then the sublingual spray, so the lipotropic, way less thin. So it's this little spray here. You're going to do 3 sprays under the tongue twice per day. Again, if you are someone that really has a hard time remembering to take your second round, I think it would be fine to do 6 at once, but it is always best to divide it up just because the body is able to absorb more when you do that. In your little packet, you're going to get a list of frequently asked questions. So I'm not going to really go through each of these, but if anyone has any specific questions related to that, I will definitely, I can absolutely answer those. Just the overview of the diet, because the diet is just as important as the supplements. If you, the whole point of metabolic reset or strategic weight loss programs is to get your body to burn that difficult fat. If you listen to that last webinar on what was the title? I don't even, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on it. But I talked about, it's about supplements and visceral fat. And I talked about how we're able to access that visceral fat, because if you were to just take the supplements and eat a normal amount of calories, your body's going to go to the calories first. So we have to strategically structure the diet so that while you're mobilizing and releasing those fat stores, the body is also looking for calories, because if you're eating lower calorie like you are on this, it's able to access those calories at the same time. So, during this process, you really won't feel hungry. You won't feel fatigued because you're getting the calories. You're just getting it through your own fat stores, which is pretty cool. So diet is super important. You're going to be eating 3 meals a day. You do have the option for a protein shake. So in the morning, you're going to have 2 ounces of some type of protein and a half a serving of fruit. This is just a template. And then, we provide a little more detail as far as like foods. But the protein shake, it is optional. So that is up to you. But just make sure you're either using one of our protein recommendations, or if you have protein powder at home, you definitely, I shouldn't say that, just let us see it so we know exactly if the macro breakdown aligns with the structure of the diet. So like I said, but it's typically fine, but we just want to make sure sometimes we have to tweak like the amount, the serving size and stuff. Lunch, either 4 to 5 ounces of lean protein. You're going to see, okay, so 4 is for the, more for like the 800, close to 800 calories. The 5 ounces is more for like our men who are on higher calorie. So that it just really depends on what your meal, your meal plan. And keep in mind that it's 4 to 5 ounces. That's uncooked. That's uncooked. So if it's cooked, you're going to take an ounce off of that. So some people, we have had some questions where someone's like, well, I saw 4 ounces in one place and I saw 3 ounces in another place. It's because it was comparing uncooked to cooked. So if it's cooked, you just get a little bit less. And you get a little more calories in like the vegetables at dinner. So the protein amount is the same. And then you do have the option to add MCT oil. So up to 2 teaspoons, not tablespoons, 2 teaspoons per day. You can do what you want with it. You can add it to protein shake. You can make a dressing out of it. You can add it to your coffee in the morning. Whatever you want to do with it, you just can't cook with it. MCT oil is not made to be cooked with. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. If anyone has questions about MCT oil and what it is and all of that, I can answer at the end. I feel like I talk about it enough where most people understand the benefits of it. So then in your booklet or packet, you're going to get more detail on the actual diet portion. So it's laid out really nicely. You're going to pick, so this is breakfast. You're going to pick one of these options, and then you'll pick one of these options, and whatever you choose in the middle column, this is the serving size. So you can mix and match as well. So if you wanted to do 1/2 cup of fat-free plain yogurt with, say, blueberries, then it would be the 1/2 cup of the blueberries. So it's pretty simple. And then of course your protein shake, you want that close to 100 calories and approximately 15 grams of protein. Lunch is outlined. These are just examples. We don't love to recommend like deli meat, but we understand that, for lunch, it is a convenient way. And you can get some healthier options, but 4 ounces of some type of protein for lunch, and then your vegetables. And then again, whatever you choose here, this is the amount. And all of this is weighed and measured uncooked. So when you get to the dinner and you see like 6 cups of mushrooms, once it's cooked, it really doesn't even, it probably is only like 1.5 cups. So it wouldn't seem as overwhelming. So the same thing with dinner, just find some type of lean protein that you like, and then your vegetable options. So this is just an example of what a day would look like. In the morning, 1/2 cup of fat-free plain yogurt. So again, make sure your yogurt is fat-free. Again, whenever I say fat-free, I feel like I always have to say this is just during the program. We never, ever, ever recommend people stay on a low-fat anything, but this definitely is during the program because we are trying to use your body fat and trying to eliminate any dietary fat coming in. And then just make sure that your yogurt is plain or unsweetened. Vanilla is sweetened, so just keep that in mind. And that essentially is going to remove all of the added sugars. And then some type of, fruit, a half a serving is typically what we're recommending. And then you have your protein shake. And then your 2 meals is literally the protein source that you choose and the vegetables. So it's pretty simple to follow. We're obviously giving you guys, different recipes to play with, but for the most part, it should be very doable for most people. Okay, so just in summary, again, I can't reiterate the importance of the diet, and the reason why I want to even just mention this again, because I feel like I always talk about the diet, but something so simple can throw it off. And, some of the things we see are people are eating too much fruit because you really don't get a lot of fruit. If you're on the 800, you get 1/2 serving a day. If you're on the 1,000, I think you get 1 full serving. So, people think, oh, fruit is healthy and fruit, it's on the plan, and then they're eating it all throughout the day. So it's really something to watch out for. making sure that you're taking your supplements consistently, because they are helping with so much, whether it's the appetite control, the energy, the utilization of your abnormal fats and things like that. Following along in the app, obviously you're going to get out as much as you put in. Some people are probably, they've done it so many times and they're like, oh yeah, I kind of know how to do it. But it's easy to kind of lose track. It's easy to forget certain things. So if you're really motivated to really change your health in the 4 weeks, then just spend the 4 weeks of really, engaging. And using the app to log, weigh yourself. Your weight is going to fluctuate. Again, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but just because you're doing the same thing every day doesn't mean you're going to lose the same amount every day. The body it's a complicated system. There's going to be fluid shifts all over the place, and you're going to be drinking a ton of water. So just keep that in mind. At the end of it, it's all going to, kind of balance out, and you'll lose what we recommend, the 15 to 25 pounds in the 4 weeks, but you just can't get really fixated on that like daily weight by any means. I would say, really paying attention to like the weekly. So anywhere between 3 and 7 pounds per week is probably a good range. Listening to your body is crucial. So if you're someone that is going to continue to do like low exercise, and then you start kind of like creeping up a little too much, and then you're not really feeling good. And, don't force yourself in that state of like willpower and feeling bad, because then that's just counterproductive, because if you're exercising too much, then you're actually going to stop that whole fat burning process. So really just pay attention to how you feel, even with the foods you're eating. Sometimes people start adding vegetables in that they never ate before, and then now they start getting like those digestive issues from it. So really, again, just paying attention to things like that. And you can message us through the app. We do monitor that every day. We don't often answer it right away, but we will get to it within that 8-hour period. So if you do have any questions, if you have any more urgent questions, just feel free to give us a call. And that is it. So if anyone has any questions, I will take those now.